they'll rob you blind out here, bro. You gotta watch it. It's like
Yeah.
if you're gonna come to Germany and you're gonna have kids with a German woman, don't stay in Germany and do it. I'm telling you,
Mm.
don't do it.
I frankly don't even find that. I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm in a natural space when there are not two women there. And it's some guys may do it for sexual purposes. Like me, I'm not a big horn dog like a lot of guys are. It's
Mhm.
more so like I appreciate the women being there. I appreciate having a large family, having the additional resources, having more heads are better than one, and the power there that I have with two honorable, honest, heterosexual, submissive women. Um, that is natural, and any man you would observe. I even see in the comments a chick said, "Well, why can't I find a loyal man?" Well, why don't you accept what men are? Like accept what men are. Now,
Absolutely.
he said every man's desire. No, there's a lot of effeminate males. There's a lot of beta males. There's a lot of guys at the bottom of the food chain, and they've tricked themselves into thinking that they want what the woman wants, which is monogamy.
Yeah.
You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's every man's thing. I mean, I'm obviously pro polygyny. But there's guys I look at them like, I know you want it, you shouldn't do it.
Right,
you know,
right.
and there's guys out there, they actually honestly don't want it, but the vast majority of men do in some form or another, desire to have multiple women in their lives. A lot of men don't want the responsibility that comes along with it in terms of the cost, taking care of families or whatnot.
Mhm.
I think this is the vast majority of men. I think a lot of men want open availability to women and free access to women, but I don't
Mm.
think they want like the responsibility attached to it. Because when you have a lot of conversations, which I've had with a lot of different guys, this is what they want. They want access to women, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with it. And this is the only perspective I can approach it from as a Muslim. It's like, hey, look,
Mhm.
if you're going to do this, do it properly. So I would partially agree with that. I think
Mhm.
most men would like, free access to women, but who actually wants polygyny
Right.
and
There
all the
you go.
responsibility that
There
comes
you
entailed
go.
with that I don't think there's many that are like that.
Mm.
And to a degree, I understand it. I mean, I'm at a point in my life. I mean, I absolutely love my wives, but
Mhm.
it's like I told them both, like, if you act up and you're gone, that's it. You're not getting. There's no replacement. And I'm just gonna live with my dog and ride my motorcycles, raise my kids. I'm not. I mean, I'm kind of done with women, man. It's not that I'm not. Everything's working fine. My
Uh-huh.
testosterone is fine and everything,
Yes.
but it's just at a point now. It's like y'all are just, y'all are expensive. I like my money. I like
Yeah.
my motorcycles, and I think this is more of a young man's topic. Because when you get older, even though that desire doesn't go away for intimacy, your ability to maintain like a calm, cool composure and patience with women also drops.
You
Your
raising that
tolerance
P hand
drops.
on them?
Yeah, because no, you just like, it's like, I've worked hard, I've done a lot, to establish and maintain and keep a family and whatnot. I've built up careers and all these types of things. And, it's like, I deserve better than this.
Yes, 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 I agree. And you know what?
Yeah.
Do you find that it's easier to get on or that the women's behavior is better in Islamic countries? Because like for example, and even stepping out of Islamic countries, like in Vietnam, they get out of
Mhm.
line, you can get them back in line. And it's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. Bow. Hey, you don't say what you just said. And now you know. That was just a wake up call. You can get them back in line in Vietnam. I mean, I'm not advocating this at all. Like I only
Understand.
lay my hands on women to love them and caress them. You dig? But in the
I do.
Islamic world, do you have more leeway to manage your own affairs?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we could look at this from multiple perspectives. First off, they tend to behave better simply because of family and societal pressure.
Mm,
So the closer the woman is to her family, the more likely she is to behave, and
okay.
not get out of line. In general, I think I think they have a more realistic view of women in the Middle East and how they can get out of, like, they can get a bit crazy. And
Right.
so you tend to have more support as a man there in terms of, like, dealing with unruly women.
Hmm.
This also applies, to women who are raised in good families. The better
Hmm.
contact and relationship you have with the family, the more likely they are to, like, not act up. In terms of like domestic,
Before you go on, and I don't want to. I hate to have to interrupt, but you mentioned
no,
something that I want to pull apart for the audience. When you say closer to the family, and you and I have moved in a lot of the same countries and circumstances, and so this is an important consideration. You had mentioned the one young lady was studying in Germany and went back to her country. So when you say the closer to her family, there's the relationship closeness, but there's also the proximity. So does the physical proximity of the family help with the behavior, or is it just the strength of the relationship?
Physical proximity helps also.
Okay.
It just intensifies what's already there. This is in my vetting guide. I actually talk about this, I think. Uh, but when there's no proximity in terms of like they're in the same country or
Mhm.
neighboring country, then it's upon you to maintain, a good contact and relationship with the family. Like that's something I haven't done as of late recently with my current wives, but it's the closer contact you maintain with them and the better relationship you have with them, the easier things become for you. You make your own life easier with that. You want to definitely have a good relationship with the family, because most cultures, you do marry the family. A
I
lot of
mean,
people
if
don't want
you're
to hear this, but you do
on the
marry into the
Islamic
family.
side, absolutely.
Yeah. So at some point, you really need to deal with the family because they see that from their perspective that you're now family. So act like it, act accordingly. And it makes your life easier. If they have a good opinion of you, they're going to obviously help you out and take your side.
Indeed. So the gentleman writes, I just want to finish reading his question. He writes, it's in our genes to be fruitful and multiply. Also, God commands. This video will be on repeat. Thank you, Marquett. Peace to the saints. Indeed, peace to the saints. Barge writes, peace to the saints. Do you have any tips on how to keep women around as a man who has to travel? I don't have time or desire to text/call them constantly when I'm out of town, but I've lost some solid women due to this. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say they weren't solid then. I'm going to yield the floor to my guest and I'll follow up.
I agree with you. Absolutely. They weren't solid. For whatever reason, they were around, you were available, you gave them time and attention that was, easy to access. And so they were there for that, but they weren't there for you. A
Mm,
woman that's there for you,
mm.
she's not going to just disappear like that.
Right.
Um, Obviously, like my situation, when I travel, I prefer to take my family with me. I told my company this when I started. It's like I prefer to travel with my family. The place that I normally stay in, it's an apartment. It's booked out, so I can't. It's a hotel. It's just not practical to bring them. Take her with you if you can. Take them with you. That's for you. That's for them also. But in general, if she's solid, and she's down for you, then you have the situation. And I hate to just throw out so many tropisms, but they are true. All these statements of the past, they do have meaning, which is, what did they say? Distance makes fondness grow.
Yeah, sure.
These are all real statements that, people kind of like, yeah, yeah, okay. They
Mm.
they sort of wave off, but they actually have meaning. And our ancestors knew, so they actually knew better than us
I
somehow.
knew a little sub, huh? I
Yeah.
agree that distance makes the heart grow fonder. And if you're dealing with a floozy or a tramp, and most of you
Mhm.
are, distance just creates opportunity.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if the woman is of little value, and most of them are of no value, then whether you're near or far, they will behave in a way that is sneaky, in a way that is deceitful, and they will do evil. It's just easier when you're away. And I can give you guys an infinite number of examples, but I'll briefly say I have a couple women in Dubai and of various ethnicities. Sometimes people like to trash certain ethnicities of women, like, oh, black women are like this, or no, they're all tramps. So I got a Kazakh girl in Dubai, and when I'm there present, oh, and mind you, she thinks she's the greatest Muslim on earth. Oh my God, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, mashallah, jazakallah khair, and yeah, all the rest of it. She is the greatest. Oh, we have to make salah. She's such a devout Muslim out of her mouth. When I'm there, oh, and I missed you so much, uh, you know, loves to get beat down. Um, I guess I should use, some of you guys don't understand the linguistics of the African American, but she likes to be enjoyed physically. As soon as I fly out, it's like she doesn't exist anymore. I don't exist. She doesn't exist. Which is to say, our time together is our time together. Our time apart is our time apart. And it's because the truth of who she actually is that you only matter to her when you're there, and that's not a you thing. That's a her thing. She just doesn't have the heart for it. She cares about what is proximate. She cares about what can give her attention, what can give her time, what can take her out. And if you're away, you don't matter. You'd be the greatest
Yeah.
guy in the world. And you'd be a fool to look in the mirror like, what's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you, bro. She's a tramp.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, um, if you leave and your old lady is bothersome, that's a bad sign. So if she doesn't want to talk to you at all, that's a bad sign. If she wants to talk to you too much, that's also a bad sign. You have to be able to dictate and establish the standards. I think it's all well and good to take her with you sometimes, but if she can't hold up when you're not
Yeah.
around, if she can't hold up under any type of challenge and pressure, she'll never last over the long haul. So you'd be incorrect to state that she's solid. She's not solid at all.
Mhm. Yeah, in my vetting guide, I talk about this, like, her relationship with attention. You have to look at these types of things, especially in terms of use of social media. Women love their attention. How is it? How and where does she get her attention? Does she turn to you for her attention,
Mm.
or does she not? If she stops turning to you for attention, she's getting it from somewhere. Without question. And I'm in the process of writing the book Marriage, Vetting in Marriage, because obviously once you get married, the vetting process continues. You have to watch for the signs, because a lot of guys like say, "Oh, I never saw it coming." It's like, well, how? And so when she stops coming to you for attention, you automatically understand she's getting it somewhere else. She's not just sitting in a void. It's like power. If you if there's no, someone's going to fill that void, and it's the same
Mm.
thing with attention in women. She's going to fill the attention void, but so if she stops
She
coming to
getting
you,
her
she's getting
void
it somewhere
filled
else.
on the low. She
Yeah,
getting that
yeah.
void filled
So,
up.
so yeah,
uh,
these are things to look out for sure. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Triple J writes, do you use protection with your wives?
No, for what?
He's like, strap up for what?
No.
Alhamdulillah. Abdullah writes, peace to the saints. I follow both of you gentlemen. I'm very happy to see this collaboration. As an Arab myself, I can confirm the negative part of tribalism in the Arab world is unfortunately true. I've dealt with it too. Yeah, it is wild out there.
It's yeah. There's no other term. It's wild. It's interesting. It's definitely a different. It's a cultural difference that's very hard to bridge mentally as a Westerner. It's just not something where in one level I can appreciate it. Because they have very strong family ties. They run very deep, and that's just, man, I love that. That's impressive. But at the same time, when you're kind of, because we don't have that in the West, and because it runs that deep there, you're like, wow, like, bro, like, what, I don't exist, I'm not a human, and it's kind of like, no, you're not. You're like, okay, does it have to be like black or white like this? And it's like, to them, it's like, yes, it does. And you're like, damn, okay, so yeah.
So so you said over your time you've had 14 individual wives?
Yeah, if I do the counting, I'm
If I
estimating,
do
but
the
it's about
counting.
roughly about 14. Yeah, but I
If
haven't,
I
I
do
haven't,
the
I haven't
counting,
counted, but yeah,
there's about
it's
14
got to
of
be
them
about close to
fags.
that. Yeah, it's got about
Okay.
14. Yeah,
How many of them did you have children with?
4.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So you only had children with 4 of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're a better man than I am.
10,
Okay.
10 children, 10 children between 4 women.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to you. Shout out to you. MashaAllah. And the 4, what's the nature of your relationship with those 4 women? And this, let me ground my question in the following, which is we're all trying to figure out how we can avoid the government, child support, alimony, and all of the forms of
Mhm.
theft present in the Western system. So if you'd be kind enough to let us know the nature of your relationship and which countries these women are citizens of and how they're trying to rob you, and if you're able to avoid it.
Yeah. So I have a daughter with a British woman. Um, I have 6 children with a German woman, and my Russian wife, she's from Dagestan. I have 1 child with her, and then I have
My boy said
uh
Dagestan. That's one of the stands I didn't even know, but go ahead, bro.
yeah,
You found the one stand I didn't know, but go ahead.
yeah, and then I have 2 children with my Indonesian wife, and I haven't had any real problems up until recently, actually.
Okay.
None have tried to, turn the system on me, and then one turned the system on me accidentally. I mean, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. The German, she did it accidentally. So, like,
That's the one with the 6
basically,
kids.
yeah. So
Okay.
basically, it's like if she goes to the government for any sort of assistance or help,
Mhm.
um, then the government automatically is like, well, okay, let's go look for this guy.
Mhm.
So she doesn't put my name down on something, say,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the dad, go get him. They're just, the
Mhm.
German government's just like, hey, yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Abdurrahman. It's like
Yeah.
you have this kid over here, and your wife
And
asked for
you're an
some special
American
school
citizen, right?
funds. Yes,
Okay. Residing in Germany currently?
indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's easier for them to get to you, bro. You should have exited. What were you thinking? You should have pulled a
I'm looking at getting out of here, man.
yeah,
Volkswagen's leaving this country, so it's like,
yeah.
what the hell am I doing here?
Yes, yes, indeed. You should have pulled a little Dirk, got up out of there.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm really looking at leaving because the government's pulling the country apart. They're tearing this place apart. You can't stay here.
So in terms of the German government coming for you, what is the nature of that? I'm trying to find out because I was going to slide a few seeds in some German girls too.
Well, I mean, like one of my kids, my ex put him in like a special school, and the school is quite expensive. So for whatever reason, I guess her finances aren't together. Surprise,
Mm.
surprise.
Yeah.
Um, she looked for government assistance, and so the government. Now I'm making good money, and the government came to me, and they were like, hey, look at all that money you got. We want it. So they're looking.
Look at all that money you got. Look at all that money you
It's really how it is out here, man.
got.
Yeah.
So you're working
So,
for a German corporation.
yes, I'm currently working for. I just left Tesla, so I was working for
Okay.
Tesla. We built the Gigafactory here in Berlin, and now I work for a different major car manufacturer, building another factory for them. So I'm construction manager for automotive industry, construction manager
Is the
specifically.
corporation this is a corporation that's registered in Germany. So you're not working in Germany for a corporation that's paying you in dollars.
No,
You're
I'm like, it's a German corporation in Germany.
okay.
I'm making euros. Yeah,
Making yours okay. I just
even
want to
Tesla
make
was
sure
like that.
because
Even
we're trying to figure out the best way to slide. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
I was like, man, if you're working for an American corporation but just happen to be working remotely in Germany, like how they get your info?
that would be
We're just
awesome.
trying
That
to
would
figure
be
out how to
awesome.
evade the government. Okay, I hear you. All right, so yeah, they got you on
Yeah.
papers. They already know.
Yeah. They offered me a German passport. I was thinking about taking it, and then just recently, there's just been like a whole chain of events that's made me like doubt the whole like second passport being a German one. Process that I was gonna take. I just, yeah, they'll rob you blind out here, bro. You gotta watch it. It's like
Yeah.
if you're gonna come to Germany and you're gonna have kids with a German woman, don't stay in Germany and do it. I'm telling you,
Mm.
don't do it. These people are brutal with taxes and like just how they find you and try and pull money out your pocket.
Oh yeah, no, those Europeans are different.